Hi friend, my name's Sophie and welcome to your practice. We're doing a strong, slow flow today. It's going to feel really good in the body, so join me. We're going to start in a seated, cross-legged position. You don't need any equipment except your mat. If you have blocks, it's always good to have them handy just in case. If you want to sit on a blanket to prop yourself up in your seat, that's fine too. Once you get there, rest your hands on your knees, close your eyes down. And take a big breath in. Feel the belly expanding. And out of your mouth, exhale. Big inhale again. Exhale, let it go. One more time in. And out. Let your breath return to normal as your lips seal. Natural rhythm, not forcing. See if you can lengthen the crown of your head just a little bit. Lengthen the spine. And gently blink your eyes open. We're going to move into cat-cow. So as you inhale, arch your back and pull your shoulders back for cow. And exhale, curl the spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, open up for cow. Exhale, round for cat. Inhale, cow. Now we're going to take circles. So exhale, go to the right. Keep breathing. And then go back into cat. And then over to the left. And forward into cow. So we're making these circles. Rotating around the spine. Next time you come forward, we're going to switch directions. So go all the way forward and then go to the left and back and around. Feels really good to make these circles. Really getting all the movements of the spine. Well, most of them. Good. Next time you come forward, take your time. You're going to pause there and bring your spine back up to neutral. Then reach your arms up, interlace your hands behind your head, open your elbows, and lengthen and back bend as much as you can with your upper back. Good, and then reach your arms up, inhale. On exhale, twist to your right. So bring your right hand behind you, your left hand to your right knee. Lengthen again and twist. Only your fingertips are behind you, so you get a lot of height. On your next inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Left fingertips behind. Use that right arm as leverage to give you a little bit more twist. And use the breath to ground you. And sometimes we need these practices to bring us back to earth when we get swept away. Come back to center, reach your arms up. On exhale, side bend, right arm down, left arm up and over. A couple breaths. On your next inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, side bend. Breathe into the right side of your rib cage. Feel the ribs spreading apart. And on inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, release your arms down by your sides. All right, come into tabletop. Turn the hands around so the fingers face your knees. Tuck your toes. And let's take some circles. If it's too much, just stay. You don't have to take circles. Just work that, the flip wrist. Switch directions of your circles. I'm getting a little toe stretch here as well. Beautiful. And then come back to center and turn your hands around. And feel that energy through the forearms. Feel the strength through your hands. And puppy pose, walk your hands forward. Let your forehead go to the earth. Let your chest sink. At the same time, draw your belly button gently in. Press down through the finger pads and the knuckles and the palms. One more full breath. Make your way back up into table. And then downward facing dog, hips up and back. Pedal those heels out if it feels good. Maybe shake your head. Or maybe lift the heels high and lower them a few times. Now bring the feet together and lift your right leg up. Bend your knee, open your hip. Straighten the leg back out. Inhale. And exhale, step your foot outside of your right hand. Right into lizard. And you can kind of move forwards and backwards for a moment. So we're actually not going to go to lizard. We're just doing lizard prep. And then we're going to go to a warrior lunge. So find stillness. Bring your left foot over to the left and put the heel on the ground. Then walk your hands to the front left corner of the mat and let your head bow between your upper arms. Breath is nice and even. Your legs are steady and supporting you here because your legs are fully capable of doing that. And bring your hands back inside of your right foot. Lift your back heel and put your knee down. So now we come into lizard. Untuck your back toes and put your right hand inside of your right thigh and push it away from you as if your chest and your thigh don't like each other. Shoulders back and down, both of them. Reach your arm up. Bend your back knee, grab onto your foot. If that's unavailable, you can just keep your arm up. You have to do what feels good for you. If you're struggling to get the foot and you can't reach it, just let it go. There's no reason to hold on. Let's release everything back down to the ground. Rise up onto your fingertips. Slide your right foot forward a little bit and then straighten the leg. So you're in sort of a version of half split. Flex your right foot and then point it. Do that a few times, flexing and pointing. And then flex and keep the foot flexed. Either stay or plant your left hand and slowly reach your right arm up like you're moving through water. Inhale. Exhale, put your hand back down onto the ground. Bend back into low lunge or lizard lunge. Lift your back knee and step back to three-legged dog. Try not to make a sound on your mat. So can you step silently back to three-legged dog? Bend your knee, open your hip. Rise up onto your right fingertips. You can stay here or you're going to really slowly come into a wild thing. The last moment your toes touch the ground. So you're really doing it with a lot of strength. See, mine aren't even touching the ground yet. See if you can hold and then set them down. And you can really think of this, people get intimidated by this pose, but think of this as a side plank with actually a kickstand behind you. Same structure as side plank. Good, now we'll bring it back around to three-legged dog. Inhale. And on exhale, step your foot between your hands. Low lunge. Pause here. Straighten your right leg. And then inhale, bend your right knee. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Either stay here or bring both hands over to the right side if you want a little more stretch. If it's maybe early or you're a little tighter today, you might not do this. Try to keep the spine long, the pelvis tilting forward. Good, and then both hands come back to frame your foot. Bend your knee and let's make our way into standing split. Lift your left leg up. And take 2 more breaths here. Keep lifting that leg, but also squaring the hips at the same time. And slowly step your way back into low lunge. Set your back knee down on the ground. Untuck your back toes and reach your arms up for Anjaneyasana. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Lift your back, tuck your toes, lift your back knee, and step back into one-legged plank. From one-legged plank, lower onto your forearms. Forearm, one-legged plank. All right, now we're going to try to come back up. Bring your hands up into high plank with your leg lifted, and then set your foot down for a regular plank. And downward facing dog. Take a breath in, breath out. All right, lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Make sure your right knee doesn't start to cave over to the left. See if you can pull your right hip back a little bit. Straighten your left leg out. Inhale. And exhale, step your foot outside of your left hand. First we're going to move forwards and backwards a little bit here to just prep the hips. The front of the right hip, the outer left hip. Feels so good. Now move your right foot over to the right a little and put the heel down like you're in warrior one legs, but pretty wide stance. Then walk your hands to the front right corner of your mat and bow your head down between your upper arms. Beautiful. Now bring your hands back inside of your left foot, lift your back heel, and set your back knee down. Untuck your toes. Put your left hand inside of your left thigh, push it away from you. Press your back foot down into the earth. Reach your left arm up. Maybe bend your back knee, grab onto your foot, or maybe not. And then let's release and bring the hands down to the ground. Come up onto your fingertips. Slide your left foot forward and straighten out your left leg for a version of half splits where the hands are inside of your left leg, and flex and point your left foot a few times. And then flex your foot, stay there. Take a couple breaths. Feels so good into that back of the left leg. Now plant your right hand and maybe lift your left arm up, or you can keep your hands down. For 3, 2, 1, bring your hands down to the ground. And then we're going to bend back into lizard lunge. And we're going to lift the back knee and step back into 3-legged dog. Take your left leg up and back. Good. Bend your knee, open your hip. Come up onto your left fingertips. And slowly, slowly, slowly flip your dog into a wild thing. Try to hover your foot and then put it down when you can no longer hold. And let's bring the leg back around into 3-legged dog. Inhale and exhale, step your foot between your hands. Good. Straighten your left leg for a modified pyramid. Pin the left hip back, press down into your left big toe mound. You can stay here. Oh, actually, we're going to bend and straighten. I almost forgot. So bend your left knee and take an inhale. And exhale, straighten the left leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. One last time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Option to take your hands over to the left. And just notice if there's a difference. I know for me, this side doesn't feel as tight as the other one. Notice which side is tighter, looser, what feels better or worse. And bring your hands back to frame your foot and lift your right leg up for standing splits. Lift the leg high, but we're not opening the hips really wide to the right. We're trying to keep an element of hips being neutral. And slowly step your foot back into low lunge. Set the back knee down, untuck your back toes, and reach your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down. Lift your back knee up. Step back into one-legged plank. Lower onto your forearms. Hold. Come back up onto your hands. You got it. Both feet down. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in and breath out. Make your way up to the front of the mat, whether you're stepping or hopping. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stand, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Arms down by your sides. Interlace your hands behind your back and open your chest. And bring your feet a little bit wider than normal. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Try to keep the palms together. Unless you're really tight, if you have really big shoulders or tight shoulders, you can let the palms separate a lot. But if you're used to doing this pose, try to keep the palms together so that you don't totally hyperextend the elbows or lock them out. Then bend your left knee and turn to the right if that feels okay. Then come back down to center and bend your right knee and turn to your left. And come back to center, release your arms down. All right, now we're going to do a little binding here. So you're going to bend your knees. Take your right arm, bring it underneath your right leg, and bring the back of the hand to the right hip, the back of the right hip. Take your left arm around, clasp your hands, and then you're going to straighten out the legs to the best of your ability, and you should feel a really nice stretch in your right shoulder blade. Now, if your arms don't do this, if you don't want to bind, just hold Malasana, hold a squat, and get low, and press your elbows into your knees. If you're here, stay here for another couple breaths. The more you straighten the right leg, the more stretch you'll feel right into the rhomboids. I know a lot of us get knots in that area. If you don't have the bind all the way, you also might not feel it, so just keep that in mind. And then we're going to release the hands. I know it's a lot on the legs, but bear with me. Left arm underneath left leg. Back of the hand comes to the low back. Right arm reaches around, and then you straighten your legs when you clasp your hands. Just keep looking downwards. You don't have to look up or anything like that. And release your hands down. Ooh, okay. And then let's step back into down dog. Shift forward into plank. Lower down for chaturanga, halfway hold. And then lower all the way down. Lift up for cobra. Inhale. And exhale, lower back down to the ground. Tuck your toes. Lift your thighs. Press up to plank, one straight line. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. We're going to come through to a seat, so you can take your hands wide. You can hop through or just put your knees down. If you're hopping through, get kind of bouncy and try to land cross-legged all the way down. And come right into boat pose. Your legs up, shoulders back. And lower down halfway. And then hold here. And then rise back up. One more time. Lower down halfway. Rise back up. Cross your ankles. Nice. Now take your legs straight out in front of you, Paschimottanasana. Slight bend of the knees is helpful. Grab onto the outer edges of your feet. So start with your knees bent, even if you know you can straighten them. Lengthen your spine, flat back, and then fold right over your thighs. Now when you get there, if you want to straighten your legs a little more, you can. But the bent knee is a good place to start, and then work from there. Let your head hang heavy. And feel the stretch all the way through the back line of your beautiful body. Let the breath ground you, center you. You always have your breath. It's always there for you. So might as well befriend it and learn to utilize it to our advantage. And slowly rise all the way up. And let's bend the knees and put the hands behind us. And we're going to lift up for reverse table. So go ahead and lift your hips up. Just get some openness in the chest here as high as you can. Lift, press into your feet. Press into your hands for 3. Lift higher. 2. And 1. Lower all the way down onto your butt. And then lower all the way down onto the ground. Hug your knees into your chest when you get there. Rock side to side. And then place your feet on the ground and your feet together and your knees wide, and put your right hand on your belly and your right hand on your heart, your left hand on your belly, or vice versa, doesn't matter to me. And feel the breath go in through the nostrils all the way up to the midbrain. And as you exhale, back down and out the nostrils. In through the nose, all the way to midbrain. Back down and all the way out. Gently bring your knees up, your feet wide, your knees together. Actually, take your feet even wider than the mat, more than you're used to. Then you can release your arms by your sides, but let the knees drop in, and they might be hardly touching. And you might feel more of a stretch here on those little muscles in the outer front parts of the hips. Maybe even bringing one knee down and the other up, kind of like windshield wiper in a way. And then bring the knees back up and slide the feet closer together. Bring the knees into your chest, but take your arms out wide and drop your knees to the right. Place your right hand on top of your left knee. See if you can soften the muscles in the face, in the front of the neck, and just in general, softening a little more. And then bring the knees back up and over to the left. Maybe left hand on top of right knee. And giving yourself space and permission to slow down, to be more gentle, less harsh. And go ahead and bring the knees back up. It's like happy baby, grab onto the outer edges of the feet. And as you take your feet up, try to get the back of your pelvis down. So you're tilting the pelvis forward, getting your tailbone to the earth, keeping the shoulders soft. And take one more inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, you release your whole body into Shavasana, arms down by your sides, legs long. Let the legs relax. And just for a couple of minutes, couple moments, we'll be here, and I'll guide you right back when it's time. Let's begin to bring movement back into the body. Let's take the arms overhead, no rush. Take a full body stretch. And then you'll bend your knees and roll over to one side. And press up to a seat. I hope you feel great. If you enjoyed, comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And I can't wait to see you again next time. Let's bring the palms together. Let's bow in gratitude together for this practice.